Welcome back to Prepper Junkie. Today we're going to do a comparison video. I see this question asked a lot in forums and things like that. The difference between a Glock 19, this is a Gen 5, and the Shadow Systems Glock 19. Well, people always wonder, you know, between not so much just the 19s, but Shadow Systems and Glock, just period, kind of what's the differences, what do people prefer? So I thought I'd do a quick video since I own both. I've shot a lot of both, and so yeah, here it goes. Let's get started now. It isn't an apples to apples review, unfortunately, because obviously this one is a MOS version and this one is not. This is just a plain Glock, but I'll talk about the mounting systems on both because I have owned an MOS one before for Glock as well, so we'll talk about both. So yeah, so this is a Gen 5, this is based off of a Gen 4 Glock, but we'll go over the Glock 19 real fast. Obviously we have the standard kind of grip all the way around here with the nice texturing. You get I can get a nice purchase on the gun. It does have a slightly flared magwell at the bottom here. This little plug here actually doesn't come with it. There's a hole that's left here and I don't know why and I don't like it. So I usually just put that, if I buy a Glock, I buy the little plug and pop that in there, about 20 bucks. But I do like having it in there. Just a personal preference kind of thing. Moving up, we do have a large, the very large mag release button here, textured mag release button right here. And then we have some more texturing in the front of the trigger guard. And you do have a nice undercut on that trigger guard also. Moving up, you do have, so there's no external safeties on these Glocks, so we just have a slide stop, and it is ambidextrous on the Gen 5. They sit in pretty well. They're, so if you're concealed carrying and things like that, you don't have to really worry about catching on that. Some people like to upgrade these to have the Vickers Tactical, just have the little bump there, so it's a little easier to catch the slide, but I don't really have any issues with that. Moving along, we do have a rail right here, so you can attach, your lights and things like that if you want to. It's just a Surefire 300 Vampire, so if you want to put your light on, you can put your light on the Glock. The slide, it's got that kind of black finish. This one is made in Austria, by the way, while the Shadow Systems is made in America. You do have the serrations front and back on here, just like so. In earlier versions, obviously, you didn't have the serrations on the Glock, so I'm very happy they're actually on front and back now. And then we come to the sights. Now, these are not standard Glock sights. Standard Glock sights are truly awful. I hate them. The plastic, U-shaped, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll roll an image in at some point. I truly hate those sights. First thing I will do with the Glock is change those sights out. So I just have some Glow sights on here. These were about $100, and then if you pay for a gunsmith install, you might pay 120, or some shops will install them for free if you buy the sights at their store. Not always, don't quote me. The Glock is also it has been taken in a little bit at the front of this barrel right here. You can see y'all ducking for cover as I'm pointing this gun at you. So this is designed for obviously anti-snagging going on your holster and things like that. So it's a little less blocky. It's still blocky, but it's got a little bit of contouring there, which is nice. And then you've got this typical barrel, and then you have a plastic guide rod down here. And that is pretty much it. Now, the trigger on Glocks, unless they are broken in, aren't the best. The Gen 5 do have a big step up in trigger compared to like the Gen 3. It's still not fantastic, but it is what it is, and it's still an upgrade. And the longer you own your Glock, the more you're shooting, you can break that trigger in a little more. Now with Glocks, obviously you can do a million different things with Glocks. The aftermarket, there might be the largest aftermarket parts, I think, out there, other than maybe like an AR-15. If whatever you want to do with this gun, you can, right, at a cost. So the Gen 5s right now are costing about $530. And if you want to upgrade your sights, it's going to be like another $100, so $630. If you want a Glock MOS, they're going to cost you about $650 without the nice sights. $650 for the MOS, and then you're going to put again your sights on. That's, for me, is something that has to be done. Again, I really genuinely hate those Glock OEM sights. Anyway, okay, so that's the Glock 19. This is just the basic model, right? There's nothing crazy about it. This is a Shadow Systems MR920 Combat. It does have, now you can get the slide with or without the optics cut. Obviously, you'll pay a little more for the optics cut. This does have a optics cut already on here. Now, we'll go over the actual mounting systems in just a second. But we'll just start off just how we did with the Glock. Now, at the bottom, this actually came with a magwell. you know, to put on the bottom here, like an extended mag well, which I really, really like. It makes it very easy to insert mags. I was going to insert a magazine, but I have rounds in my mags and I don't want to play with that while I'm doing the review. But the mag well comes with it. It works great. It's just really nice addition on to your grip. The texturing is really, really nice. I much prefer the texturing over the Glock 19. It does go all the way around, and I can get a very, very, very nice purchase on this gun. The grip angle is slightly different, and it does come with different back straps. That there's a pin right here that you pop out and you can put different back straps on. So if you like the more of a 1911 kind of angle and things like that, you can do that. If you like a larger palm swell, you can change it out. It comes with, I think there's a total of 3 different back straps. Glock 19 does also come with back straps in the Gen 5s. But I really love the grip texture and the angle on the shadow systems. Now moving up, we do have a large mag release just like the Glock 19 Gen 5. Now this isn't the original. I did switch this out to a Glock mag release because I believe, don't quote me, they were having some issues with Glock mags sometimes, because this comes with Magpul P mags, which is designed for, but you can obviously use Glock mags. I heard there were some issues, and switching out the mag release helped that, and so it's a really cheap fix, like 20 bucks. So I just switched out real fast, just to be on the safe side. Not that I had any problems previously, I didn't, and I use P mags and I use Glock. I use mostly Glock. I only have a few P mags. Okay, now we do have a large like beaver tail part kind of thing here. Now you have a little one on the Glock 19. This one has been extended out, so you can get a nice high purchase on that. And again, it's very, very comfortable. It does have a undercut on the trigger guard here, and then we do have serrations on the front of the trigger guard right there. And then we have again, there's no external safeties on this. Safety is on the trigger, but we do have a slide lock on here. And actually I did switch this one out to Vickers Tactical. The slide lock is very, very similar to the Glock 19 though, the original one, before I switched this out. I kind of like the slightly extended slide lock. So that is what's on there. Takedown is the exact same. Actually, it's almost the exact same. With the shadow systems, you just pull, once you pull the levers down and you just pull back a millimeter or two, and you can actually take the slide off, which is a little different. Just, you gotta pull the Glock back just a little bit more. You know, pretty much the same. Now, the other thing they've got on this, on either side here, is there's a ledge and there's some serrations right here. And that is so, let's see if I can get this on camera. So that is so you can put your thumb on here on that slight little ledge, and you can really maintain a good grip. So hopefully you got on camera. But you can get that good grip with the pistol. Very nice. It does come with a standard rail just like the Glock 19. And then we move up to the slide. The slide is much fancier than the general Glock. Now it does have these nice serrations in the front and back. It's got some, you know, some engraving and things like that. Now, when it comes to the barrel, I could give or take the gold color barrels. You know, I mean, I'm not a flashy person, you know, but this is what it came with, so it's fine. I do have a spare barrel, a black one I can put in if I want, but you might like that. You might want a black barrel. You can choose whatever you would like. So no worries there. So these sights actually come with it. These are Amiraglow sights. They're excellent sights. Wasn't sure how I felt about the yellow when I first seen it. I do prefer the Amiraglow with the kind of the red dot, the luminous neon red. I kind of like that one a little better. But these sights actually came with it, and they work perfectly when you mount, because the way this is set in, these sights, they don't have to be suppressor height sights to actually get your co-witness, which is really cool, because you know, when you get suppressor height sights, they sit pretty high, and you'll notice these actually aren't sitting that high. They're sitting pretty low because of the way this mounting system is designed. So it's very cool. Okay, so the mounting system on this mounting system is designed to take pretty much every optic design out there. It's a really, really smart design, and obviously I'll roll in a picture to show you the actual slide without an RMR on here, so you can see, and then you'll see there's different holes and things like that. So it's awesome, and the screws go pretty far down, so it's very, very secure in this slide. It's very, very nice indeed. With the Glock MOS, you can buy different mounting plates and things like that, but you would need to put suppressor height sights on there when you have the MOS, because if the original sights won't just work like it does with the shadow. So that's kind of the differences between the two. Now, price-wise, you know, you're talking several $100 difference in price between these. People refer to this as more of a Gucci Glock, and you know, obviously you have the standard OEM reliable. Now, this has been 100% reliable too, but you know, this is the standard, you know, $500 Glock, which everyone loves, and so on. And then you have the shadow systems that's been Gucci'd out. The trigger is better than it is on the Glock 19 Gen 5. It's got a nice positive and tactile reset there. It's got a decent break. I mean, again, the triggers aren't phenomenal because they're just striker fire pistols. It is just what it is. But the shadow systems definitely wins in the trigger, although the 19 version does have a much better trigger than previous versions. Now, so yeah, so price-wise, they're definitely a couple $100 in difference. Now, again, if you buy a Glock stock like this, you've got to end up putting night sights on. People don't like the trigger, and they don't like this, and they don't like that. Now, if you did everything to this that's on this, and not so much the slide, say you had the MOS version, and just so it's apples and apples, to put on the sights and make the trigger better, the stippling and the grip, the mag well, and things like that, then this is excellent value for money. Now, a lot of people like the standard OEM Glocks and they're going to stick with it, and that's just fine. And then some people want the kind of the Gucci'd out Glock. I can tell you, I do like both. I do carry both. If I had to choose one or the other, it would be my shadow systems. I do prefer this gun over the stock OEM. It's more feature rich, it's nicer to shoot. I feel like I'm more accurate with it. And again, for value for money, yes, I'm paying a little more, but I'm getting everything already completed. Again, if you just want a awesome gun that works and you don't care about all this Gucci stuff, stick with the Glock 19. There's no need. I mean, it's a super reliable gun. It, absolutely works. If you want the extra stuff on it and you're going to end up paying through the nose if you upgrade your Glock, then just buy a shadow systems is my advice. So if I had to pick one though, it would be the shadow systems, but I do own both. I do carry both. I do like both. Slight preference to the shadow systems for sure though. So yeah, anyway, I thought I'd do a quick video since a lot of people have questions on it. Size comparison, they're obviously they're identical. The beaver tail does sit out a little bit further at the back here, but other than that, like dimensions, they're pretty much identical. I don't think there's much of a really a difference. Obviously we have a magwell extension on there, you can see, but everything's pretty much the same. So both great guns. If you have any questions, any comments, please ask them below. I'm happy to help out wherever I can. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do so. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it helps me out and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And that's it, folks. Until next time, I'll catch you later.